Texas sun streamed through the diner's window, bathing it in a warm glow as the morning shift began. The familiar sounds of coffee brewing and bacon sizzling filled the space, melding into a comforting buzz. Mia Torres moved through the bustling crowd with practiced ease, her apron tied snugly at her waist. She took a deep breath, letting the familiar scent wrap around her like a warm embrace, her smile bright as she poured coffee and served breakfast. Despite the warmth radiating from the customers, Mia often felt a veil hanging over her, an invisible barrier that kept her slightly apart. Deaf since birth, she had learned to navigate her silent world with grace. Gestures and expressions became her language, a dance she performed tirelessly to connect with those around her. Yet, as joyous as she felt in her role, a flicker of loneliness always nudged at her. Today, the atmosphere shifted, charged with an unexpected energy. The door swung open, and a familiar figure stepped inside with a presence that ignited the room. George Strait, country music legend. A hush fell over the diner as patrons turned to catch a glimpse of him. Mia's heart raced, and she felt a surge of admiration flood through her. Tugged by a mix of nervous excitement and determination, she gathered her thoughts. George's music had always resonated deeply with her, a bridge across the silence she navigated. As she approached his table, memories of her grandmother filled her mind. Nights spent dancing in the kitchen as they listened to his songs, both joyous and free. With the coffee pot at the ready, Mia carefully set it in front of George, allowing their eyes to meet. His friendly smile breathed warmth into her, but words were still trapped in her heart, fighting to escape. This was her chance. Drawing in a deep breath, she signed her admiration. "Your music means everything to me." She watched as George's face registered her words. His smile remained, but she couldn't shake the uncertainty creeping in. Would he understand her heart laid bare through gestures? As if time had paused, flashes of cameras erupted around them, capturing the moment. The diner remained silent, everyone eagerly awaiting the next beat of this unexpected encounter. For Mia, however, a wave of vulnerability washed over her like a flood. She felt exposed, her fingers trembling as she wished for a deeper connection. Stepping back, doubts blossomed in her mind. Had she spoken her truth only to feel more isolated? George's expression shifted slightly as he caught the room's energy, and for a second Mia wondered if her words had come through. A disconnect hung in the air, leaving her suffocated by her own courage. Returning to her duties, the joy she normally felt during the morning shift now felt distant as she washed dishes, each clink of silverware echoing harshly. The laughter around her mocked the silence inside. In that crowded diner, Mia felt adrift, caught between admiration and disappointment. Yet deep down she knew this moment had ignited something. It was a step toward bridging her silence, a stirring of aspirations waiting to rise. The day was young, and with every beat of her heart, she sensed a melody building within her, eager to be released. Tomorrow might be different. Tomorrow could reveal her place not only in the world, but within the realm of music that had always called to her. In the echoes of that fleeting moment, a journey began, one where she would learn to find her voice amid the silence. Later that night, after the diner's fluorescent lights flickered off and the bar stools were stacked, Mia sat on the porch of her grandmother's house. The Texas sky sprawled overhead, dotted with stars that twinkled like distant dreams. She cradled her guitar, softly strumming the strings, letting the vibrations resonate in her chest. Memories flooded back, weaving the tapestry of her past. As a child, evenings often turned into dance parties in the kitchen. Lily Torres, her grandmother, always guided Mia through the warm air filled with George Strait's melodies. They would sway to Amarillo by Morning and Check Yes or No, the rhythm thrumming through the floorboards, echoing in Mia's heart despite her silence. "Feel the music, Mia, it's in your bones," Lily would say, her eyes sparkling with warmth. "Let it move you, my love." Mia could see herself as a young girl, laughter bubbling over. She would pirouette under her grandmother's loving gaze, their shared joy reaching far beyond words. Those moments crafted a cherished bond, a connection that had instilled resilience in Mia. But beneath the surface, layers of longing wove through her heart, desires often unheard in a world that seemed to forget the silenced. With each note she played that night, Mia recalled her struggles at school. Classmates would giggle when she signed conversations, their whispers crafting a barrier she couldn't break through. Misunderstanding often shadowed her interactions. Her eagerness to connect often met with mockery, leaving her grasping for a sense of belonging. Yet amidst the challenges, Lily was her sanctuary, encouraging her to embrace her uniqueness. "Everyone has a voice, Mia," her grandmother had said, kneeling beside her. "Yours just speaks through your heart. Never forget that." The words permeated Mia's thoughts like the sweet country tunes playing in the background, infusing her spirit with strength. She had always fought to rise above her circumstances, but those moments at the diner brought forth a glimmer of something greater, a chance to share her story in a way that others could feel. An idea began to take root in her mind. She reached for her phone, flipping through her notes until she found a blank page. "I want to inspire others," she wrote, pondering how the journey thus far had shaped her. With her grandmother's support and George's influence looming large in her heart, Mia envisioned a future that combined her love for music and advocacy. Early the next morning, she joined Lily at the kitchen table, sun washing over them like a soft blanket. She shared her thoughts, excitement bubbling as she described her dreams, organizing an event that would raise awareness for inclusivity in music. She wanted to invite George to connect the silence of her world with his melody. "I can use my voice to create a change," Mia exclaimed, her hands animated, shaping her passion in the air. "I want to show others that being different is beautiful." Tears glistened in Lily's eyes as she wrapped her arms around Mia, the warmth of their bond grounding her. "You have the heart of a warrior, my dear. I believe in you, and I will help you every step of the way." For the next few weeks, Mia poured herself into her project. She researched, planned, and coordinated, transforming her dreams into tangible steps. She developed flyers and materials, connecting with local musicians who understood the importance of representation. Each evening, her conversations with Lily turned from bedtime stories to discussions about outreach, advocacy, and music. Without realizing it, Mia's network began to expand. She found community among her peers who felt similarly overlooked by society. They shared stories of struggle and hope, crafting an unbreakable sisterhood. Mia felt a rush of gratitude, acceptance enfolding her as they exchanged ideas and passions openly, unearthing the hidden layers of their experiences. Then, one fateful evening, while Mia was sipping tea at the diner, she met Jake Collins, a local journalist known for his compelling stories. He settled at the bar, his notebook open, searching for inspiration. Intrigued by Mia's enthusiasm as she organized her event, he struck up a conversation. "I've heard your story," he said, genuine interest lighting his eyes. "It's powerful. You could really bring change." Mia's heart raced, excited yet apprehensive about sharing her journey. But as they exchanged thoughts, her passion poured forth like a river. She spoke of her hopes to connect with George and inspire change through music. Jake listened intently, nodding, keen to capture the essence of her vision. "I'd love to help," he offered, tilting his head in that encouraging way. "I can write about your journey, raise awareness. Everyone deserves to hear your voice." The partnership blossomed quickly. Late-night meetings turned into brainstorming sessions, and soon Jake became her close ally, amplifying Mia's voice in the community. They shared dreams beneath the sprawling stars, their laughter mingling with the evening breeze as they crafted press releases and outlined every detail of the event. As they worked, Mia found herself opening up, unveiling layers of vulnerability she had previously guarded. Her courage blossomed, urging her to take ownership of her narrative. With the combined energy of her grandmother, Jake, and her aspirations, Mia's world illuminated like the bright Texas sky, revealing pathways once shrouded in doubt. And as the days passed, that faint melody began to echo in her heart, a song waiting to be shared with the world, resounding in the silence that blanketed her existence until it became a powerful anthem of acceptance and love. As the day of the event approached, Mia felt excitement and anxiety twist into a tight knot in her stomach. The community center buzzed with energy as volunteers worked to set the stage and prepare for performances. Banners displayed messages of inclusivity, creating a vibrant atmosphere that echoed the shared hope of the gathering. Yet, beneath the surface, doubt lurked in the recesses of Mia's heart. What if no one showed up? What if George Strait didn't come? The questions swirled around her like a tempest, the fear of vulnerability a persistent companion. Just days before, she had shared her vision with her grandmother, Lily, and the warmth of their bond had emboldened her. Yet, uncertainty still gnawed at her. One late afternoon, seeking comfort, Mia retreated to the familiar embrace of her grandmother's kitchen. Lily stirred a pot of stew, her hands moving rhythmically, while the warm aroma wrapped around them. "Mia, come here," Lily called gently, setting a stack of old letters on the table. "I want to show you something." Curiosity piqued, Mia approached. The letters revealed glimpses of her grandmother's own past in the music world, filled with aspirations and rejections. "I had dreams too," Lily said, her eyes dancing with memories. "But it was never easy. There were times I wanted to give up." Mia listened intently, understanding the weight of those struggles. "But you didn't give up," she whispered, a spark igniting within her. "You made it through." "Yes," her grandmother replied, her gaze softening. "Just remember, it's okay to be scared. It's part of the journey. Your spark can ignite change, just like mine did." Encouraged by her grandmother's words, Mia dedicated herself to the final preparations. She and Jake met late into the night, their energy infectious as they mapped out the event and wrote press releases. Mia revealed more of her dreams, her heart pouring out in ways she had never anticipated. With each exchange, she felt the weight of fear lift, her passion lighting up every corner of her being. "Let's make this unforgettable," Jake said one night as they sat under the vast Texas sky, laughter mingling with the gentle breeze. "You have a gift, Mia. The world deserves to hear your voice." As the day approached, the energy in the community grew palpable. Posters were distributed, and local musicians rallied to support Mia's cause. On the morning of the event, the community center was filled with cheering supporters. Mia's heart raced with excitement as she welcomed everyone, an anxious smile brightening her face. "Thank you for being here," she said, her voice steadying as she embraced the moment. "This is about all of us and the beauty of connection." As the afternoon unfolded, musicians shared their stories, each vibrant performance resonating with authenticity. Mia felt an overwhelming sense of unity, a shared experience binding them together in a celebration of individuality. She watched from the side of the stage, absorbing every note, the audience's joy spilling into the atmosphere like sunlight through leaves. There was still a tremble of anxiety in the pit of her stomach. George was yet to arrive. Mia kept checking the entrance, her heart hopeful yet heavy with the unease of uncertainty. As the hours ticked away, a lingering question gnawed at her. What if he didn't come? Just then, a stir by the door drew her attention. Gasps filled the room as George Strait walked in, his presence commanding but warm. The crowd erupted into applause, a wave of emotion crashing over Mia. She felt her heart soar as he stepped onto the stage, effortlessly drawing their attention. "Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm honored to support Mia and the incredible message she's spreading through this event," he said, his voice rich and smooth. Mia's breath caught as she watched him engage with the crowd, his passion inspiring and comforting. As he shared his own journey of overcoming obstacles, Mia felt the connection strengthen between their souls. When he turned to Mia, acknowledging her presence, she felt a rush of emotions wash over her: gratitude, excitement, and the deep realization that she belonged. As the event continued, Mia shared her story from the stage, her voice growing stronger and more assured with each passing moment. She spoke not just of her struggles, but of the beauty of connection, resilience, and the transformative power of music. The crowd was with her, every clap and cheer echoing her truth. "Together we can create change. Together we can uplift each other," she declared, her heart pounding with conviction. As the final notes reverberated through the space, Mia felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her, light and radiant like the Texas sun. She no longer felt like a girl lost in silence, but as a woman whose voice was heard, an anthem of acceptance crafted through her journey. In that moment, surrounded by the warmth of community and the echo of music, Mia Torres knew she had forged her path. She had transformed the lingering shadows of doubt into a beautiful, powerful melody that would always resonate in her heart. Following the event, the energy lingered in the air like the sweet scent of blooming wildflowers. Mia felt uplifted, buoyed by every cheer and every connection made. The evening glowed like a sunset over Texas, a reminder that this journey was just beginning. Days turned into weeks, and as Mia settled back into her routine, the echoes of the event danced around her like cherished memories. The thrill did not fade. Rather, it grounded her in newfound purpose. With the support of her community, Mia began to craft her own music, pouring her heart into each song she wrote. She sat on her grandmother's porch one evening, the sun dipping low in the horizon and the air heavy with the buzz of cicadas. Her guitar nestled comfortably in her lap, its familiar weight a steady companion. But instead of strumming the same chords that echoed her past, Mia sought to summon the voices of her journey, channeling the spirit of resilience that had emerged. "Let's write something real, something that speaks to the heart," Mia said to herself, focusing intently. She strummed gently, letting the rhythm guide her thoughts. The pain, the joy, the leaps of faith she had taken, all of it began to take shape in the lyrics forming in her mind. "I've walked a winding road, with shadows dancing in the dark, but I found the light. I found my song, in a world that let me start." She repeated the lines, letting the words settle deep in her soul. The anticipation of sharing her music with the world ignited a fire within her, a fire she thought she had lost. It was exhilarating, healing, and terrifying all at once. As days passed, Mia often found solace in music, but there were moments when doubt would creep in. Would anyone connect with her songs? Would they resonate with audiences as deeply as they did with her? The nagging whispers threatened to pull her back into shadows where insecurity lived. One afternoon, bored of her own echoing thoughts, she decided to revisit the diner. The familiar sight felt comforting, and as she entered, a wave of nostalgia washed over her. The laughter and chatter enveloped her, pulling her into that sense of belonging she cherished. "Mia, you're back," called out Claire, the waitress who had worked at the diner for years. "How's the singing going?" Mia smiled, her heart warmed by the familiarity. "It's going well. I've been working on new songs," she replied, trying to sound more confident than she felt. The friendly environment inspired her. Watching locals embrace one another, exchanging joy and laughter, reminded Mia of the importance of connection she had discovered. Every day was a chance to unite, to uplift one another. Every moment held potential. In that comforting space, Mia resolved to gather local talents for an open mic night. Her vision expanded from an event to a celebration, a chance for others to share their stories just as she had. After discussing this with her grandmother and Jake, their enthusiasm ignited her courage once more. They brainstormed logistics, setting a date filled with anticipation. As the night finally arrived, Mia stood backstage, surrounded by her friends and fellow musicians. Anxiety fluttered in her stomach, but it was accompanied by a lightness that reminded her of the joy awaiting their hearts. Each performer brought their own stories, weaving a rich tapestry of experiences. The atmosphere crackled with excitement as the first performer stepped into the spotlight. Mia watched as the singer's voice filled the room with raw emotion, and the audience roared with approval. Her heart swelled, realizing she was part of something bigger than herself, a collective of storytellers, each ready to be heard. When it was finally her turn, the stage lights illuminated her, and for a fleeting moment, she felt every heartbeat in the room connect to her own. She looked out at the crowd, familiar faces smiling back, encouragement in their eyes. In this life, we're never alone. Through every storm, every fight, together we'll rise, hearts aligned, finding our voices in the night. As Mia sang, the emotions bubbled to the surface, the vulnerability now transformed into strength. Her fingers danced across the strings with newfound confidence, pouring her soul into each note. The audience listened intently, their energy wrapping around her like a comforting embrace, a reminder of how far she had come. After her performance, applause erupted like a warm tide, washing over her and leaving her breathless. The resonance of her words with the crowd melted the fear that had lingered. She felt reborn, embracing the role of an artist and storyteller. Later that night, amidst the glow of celebration, a memory flickered in her mind. Her grandmother's wisdom, her encouragement, and those early moments shared over music and dreams. It fueled a gratitude that manifested as she hugged Lily, both present and proud. "Mia, you are a force. I've always known you had it in you," Lily said, her voice filled with tears of joy. "I couldn't have done it without you," Mia replied, her heart swelling. "You showed me the way." In the weeks that followed, Mia poured herself into her music even more. Each song a chapter of her experiences. The open mic events became a regular fixture in the community, attracting a variety of voices and talents willing to share their artists' journeys. They fostered an intimate atmosphere, balancing the personal and collective in a symphony of energies. One night, during an open mic event, as Mia listened to another songwriter share her story of struggle and perseverance, Mia saw a kindred spirit. Her heart swelled with pride, knowing that they were part of a growing community once anchored in silence. The beauty of vulnerability began to forge connections where loneliness once thrived. In those moments, Mia felt the music transcend her individual experience, becoming a bridge between souls finding their way. Each performer was a vital note in the larger melody of humanity. That summer, beneath the Texas sun, a new narrative unfolded, one fueled by acceptance, creativity, and a sense of belonging. Mia had transformed from a girl seeking her voice into a woman leading others to discover theirs. Shadows turned to light, forging a path of empowerment where dreams could bloom. And as the sun set on another day, Mia strummed her guitar on that same porch, laughter mingling in the air and warmth cradling her heart. The melody she created resonated with hope and acceptance, a reminder that every journey was worth singing about and sharing with the world. In that moment, Mia Torres knew her music held the power to change lives, inspire courage, and cultivate a community, an everlasting anthem that would echo through the hearts of those willing to listen. As summer turned to fall, the nights grew cooler, wrapping the small town of Willow Creek in a gentle embrace of crisp air and falling leaves. The open mic nights continued to flourish, each one more vibrant than the last. Mia's songs brought people together, and her confidence radiated with each performance. However, deep down she felt the whisper of change beckoning, almost like the crisp autumn breeze teasing the branches of nearby trees. One evening, just after a particularly moving open mic night, Mia sat with Jake in their usual corner of the diner. The smell of coffee wafted through the air, mingling with the warmth of laughter cascading from other tables. The vibrant conversations embraced them as they reflected on how far they had come. "What if we took it to the next level?" Jake mused, his eyes gleaming. "What if we organized a music festival? Something bigger that brings even more people together?" Mia paused, her heart racing at the thought. A festival? It felt like a leap into the unknown, a venture that could either flourish or falter. Yet as she thought about the community they had built, the connections forged through shared stories and harmonies, excitement coursed through her. "That could be amazing," she exclaimed, "but who would help us pull it off?" "Start with who you know," Jake encouraged, leaning back in his chair. "There are so many talented musicians and artists in this community. We could reach out and see who's interested in collaborating." They spent the next few weeks brainstorming, rallying their network of musicians, artists, and volunteers. Every meeting ignited their passion further, and the idea of the festival morphed from a dream into a tangible plan. One crisp afternoon, Mia and Jake set off to scout locations, finally deciding on a picturesque park nestled by the river. The site was idyllic, framed by trees sweeping listlessly in the breeze. The water glinted in the autumn sun, echoing the potential of the event. Together, they envisioned a stage set against that backdrop, where local and aspiring musicians could share their melodies with the world. As they forged ahead with preparations, Mia's excitement climbed higher, but doubts lurked, whispering their concerns. What if no one attended? What if they failed to raise enough funds? Each looming question threatened to dampen her enthusiasm. On sleepless nights, Mia would lie awake, grappling with the pressure building inside her. One evening, overwhelmed and uncertain, she returned to her grandmother's porch with her guitar in hand, seeking solace in the familiar. The stillness of the night enveloped her, calming her racing thoughts. As she strummed a few chords, she lost herself in the rhythm, letting the music become her voice. "Mia!" A soft voice broke through her reverie. It was Lily, leaning against the porch railing, her gaze fixed on Mia's hands. "What troubles you, my dear?" Mia sighed, glancing up at her grandmother. "I'm scared, Grandma. We're planning this festival, and what if it doesn't work? What if I let everyone down?" Her grandmother walked over to Mia, gracefully sitting beside her on the wooden steps. "You won't let anyone down," Lily assured gently. "Remember, it's about the journey, not just the destination. You've already created a beautiful community. Trust in that and keep shining bright." Mia felt the warmth of her grandmother's words settle in her heart. "You're right. I want to inspire others to feel what I've felt," she said, determination swelling within her. "Yes," Lily affirmed, her eyes sparkling. And don't forget, even if the path ahead seems daunting, every step is a step towards something greater. With renewed resolve, Mia dedicated herself to the festival planning. Finally, the day arrived, a beautiful September morning filled with golden rays and the soft rustle of leaves. The park was alive with activity, crowds gathering, laughter mixing with the sweet sounds of music. Mia moved about the festival area, greeting volunteers, setting up food stalls and coordinating with performers, each task fueling her excitement. As the air filled with the scent of barbecue and sweet pie, Mia stood on the stage, her heart brimming with pride. Musicians, poets, and artists showcased their talents, their voices weaving a rich tapestry of shared stories before a gathering crowd. Amid the swell of music, Mia observed an eclectic mix of faces in the audience. Young children jumping to the beat, couples swaying in tandem, and friends huddled together, united by the essence of creativity and expression. As the sun dipped lower, it was time for Mia to take the stage. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of every gaze on her. The crowd cheered, and she smiled, the fear retreating as she recognized the familiar warmth of connection. "Thank you all for being here today," she began, her voice steady. "This festival is not just a celebration of music, but a testament to the power of community. Each of us has a story to share, and together, we lift each other up." With that, she strummed her guitar and began to sing her newest song, a ballad of unity and resilience. The lyrics flowed with a mix of hope and gratitude, a reflection of everything she had learned on her journey. As she sang, she saw her grandmother, Jake, and the supportive faces of friends among the audience, their smiles lighting up the space. The melody became a part of something grander, transcending her own journey, weaving through the hearts of everyone present. Mia felt the energy envelop her, washing over her in a beautiful tide. In that moment, she realized it didn't matter if the festival was a grand success or not. What mattered was the bonds that had formed, the courage shared, and the collective spirit of people uplifted in harmony. When she finished her song, a thunderous applause erupted, and Mia's heart soared higher than ever. The stage lights twinkled like stars above her head, blending with the joy surrounding her on all sides. After the performance, Sophie, a local musician who'd performed earlier, approached her, eyes shining with admiration. "Mia, I've never felt so connected to a crowd as I did today. Your energy is infectious." "Thank you," Mia replied, overwhelmed by the warmth of appreciation. "I couldn't have done this without all of you." The festival continued late into the evening, laughter echoing through the park as music filled the air. Conversations blossomed, friendships forged, and the heart of their community pulsed, vibrant and alive. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the skies in hues of purple and gold, Mia stood at the edge of the park, her heart full. The festival had become more than she ever envisioned. It was a celebration of hope, resilience, and the undeniable strength found in connection. The experience was a reminder that she too was part of something larger, a thread in the intricate fabric of humanity. As she gazed at the stars beginning to twinkle overhead, Mia knew that this was just the beginning of a grand journey, one filled with countless stories waiting to be told. With a smile, she looked into the night, ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that her voice, fueled by community and love, would always guide her way. In the weeks after the festival, Mia found herself relishing the connections formed within her community. The joy she felt was palpable, but as the days passed, an unexpected weight began to settle on her chest. The exhilaration of the festival slowly transformed into a pressure she hadn't anticipated. What came next? The dream of releasing an album loomed over her, heavy like fog, clouding her thoughts and obscuring her path forward. Each time Mia thought about the next steps, a familiar voice in her head whispered doubts. What if she wasn't good enough to make an album? What if her songs didn't resonate? The enthusiasm from her friends and fellow musicians became a reminder of her own insecurities, making her feel paralyzed by expectation. One chilly evening, seeking solace, she found herself at their favorite diner. The neon lights buzzed softly outside, while inside, the warmth of laughter and clinking silverware embraced her. As she sipped her coffee, trying to find comfort in the bustle around her, Jake slid into the booth across from her, his smile infectious. "Mia, how's the songwriting coming along?" he asked, the optimism in his voice contrasting her gloom. Mia sighed, forcing a smile. "It's, okay, I guess, but honestly I feel stuck." "Stuck? After everything we accomplished at the festival? Jake's brow furrowed with concern. Mia, you should consider putting together an album. This is your moment to share your voice. The very thought sent a jolt of excitement through her, but with it came a storm of anxiety. But what if it all falls flat? What if I fail? Jake leaned closer, his tone steady. You can't let fear dictate your journey. So many people connected with you during the festival. You have stories to tell and your music matters. Mia nodded, but doubt clung to her like a shadow. That night she walked home, the familiar path feeling heavier than usual. Memories of the festival replayed in her mind, but instead of joy, they felt tinged with an anxiety that gnawed at her resolve. Days turned to weeks, and the first frost began to nip at the trees, yet Mia's creativity dwindled. She stared bleakly at her guitar, feeling unworthy to touch the strings. Each time she attempted to write, the pressure mounted, suffocating her inspiration. Feeling lost and desperate, she decided to reach out to her grandmother for guidance. One evening, as they sat together in the cozy kitchen filled with the scents of spices and baked goods, she poured her heart out, feeling the warmth of Lily's love surrounding her. Mia, you seem burdened, Lily said gently as she handed her a steaming cup of tea. What weighs on your heart? I feel like I'm at a crossroads, Mia admitted. The festival was wonderful, and now there's pressure to keep pushing forward, to make an album. But what if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? Lily leaned forward, her eyes hazel and wise. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to face it. Remember why you started this journey. It wasn't for recognition, it was about expressing your heart. If you share your truth, you have already succeeded. Mia felt comforted by her grandmother's faith, though doubts still lingered. I want to share my music, Grandma. I don't know how. Allow your fear to inspire your creativity, Lily urged. Let it become the fuel in your music. Embrace every single emotion you feel. After their talk, Mia tried to rekindle the flicker of inspiration. She picked up her guitar and strummed a few chords, but the familiar rhythm felt foreign. Her heart ached with a longing for clarity, but each tried note fell flat against her uncertainty. The more she pushed herself, the more the dread returned. Each friend's inquiry about her music sent her into deeper spirals of self-doubt. What if I can't do this? She thought, unable to shake the feeling of being trapped. One evening, overwhelmed by anxiety, she called Jake, her voice trembling. I need help. I don't know what to do with this next step. I feel stuck again. Mia, let's go away for a writing retreat, he suggested. Just you, me, and your guitar. No stress, no expectations. Let's just create. The idea of a retreat sparked a glimmer of hope within Mia. They arranged to meet at a rustic cabin nestled in the woods, surrounded by tall trees and clear skies, a place where nature could breathe life back into her creativity. When they arrived, the crisp air filled her lungs, invigorating her spirit. The rustling leaves overhead and the distant chirping of birds provided a soothing backdrop as they set up their workspace and settled into their creative rhythm. Over the next few days, Mia immersed herself in songwriting. They spent hours brainstorming lyrics and jamming out melodies. Amid laughter, vibrant music swelled from the cabin, and for the first time in weeks, Mia felt the pressure begin to ease. However, on the third night, fatigue settled in, and she found herself sitting on the porch staring at the stars. The weight of her fears returned, and tears began to flow. What if I never find my sound? She whispered, feeling utterly defeated. What if I'm just fooling myself? Jake joined her, sitting beside her in quiet understanding. Mia, remember what you said during the festival? It's about connection. You don't have to be flawless, just be real. Share your truth. That's what matters. As the moonlight bathed them in silver, Mia contemplated Jake's words. She reflected on her initial enthusiasm for music, not for accolades or fame, but for the connection and stories woven through song. In that quiet moment, determination surged within her. With renewed hope, she picked up her guitar and began to play, allowing her fingers to dance across the strings. The melody flowed from her heart, carrying not only her fears, but also her joys and aspirations. The music enveloped her, bridging the gap between her vulnerabilities and her desires. As she sang, an empowering realization washed over her. This journey was not solely about success or perfection, but rather about growth, transformation, and the lessons learned along the way. By the time dawn broke, illuminating the sky with soft hues of pink and gold, Mia knew she had turned a corner. The weight she had carried felt lighter as creativity poured from her, each note echoing deeper truths about herself and her connection to the world. Mia Torres had discovered that while fear may walk alongside her, it wouldn't dictate her path. With a heart full of resilience and renewed passion, she was ready to step boldly into the future, confident that the music guiding her would be a beacon of hope and expression. The trials had refined her. Now more than ever, she knew she was meant to share her voice with the world. With the dawn painting the sky in radiant hues, Mia felt a transformative energy buzzing in her veins. The night had shifted something profound within her, a realization that her music wasn't just about her journey, but also about connecting with others. The stories that resonated in each note echoed her experiences, fears, and dreams. As they spent their last day at the cabin, Mia and Jake continued to write songs, the melodies pouring forth effortlessly. Time seemed to stretch as they lost themselves in creativity, fabricating a tapestry of sound that mirroring their collective experience of growth. With every chord strummed, every lyric penned, Mia felt the weight of her fears dissolve, replaced by an unwavering belief in her voice. On their way back home, the truck vibrated with laughter and unfinished melodies, the world outside the windows sprawling like a mosaic of possibilities. Jake turned to her, excitement bubbling just beneath the surface. "You know what? We need to share these songs. It's time for you to take that leap." Mia nodded, his enthusiasm stirring her own growing conviction. "What do you suggest?" she asked, a thrill of hope dancing in her chest. "A small release party," he proposed, his eyes alight. "Invite friends, local musicians, and celebrate your journey. Play the new songs, share your truth. You can do this." Mia hesitated, the remnants of fear lingering at the edges of her thoughts, but she quickly tempered it with the resolve she had cultivated. "You're right. I need to do this." Over the next few weeks, Mia plunged into organizing the event. She booked a small venue downtown, decorated it with fairy lights and cheerful banners that reflected her vibrant spirit. The entire process felt surreal. It was a dance between excitement and nervousness, but Mia embraced every moment. The night of the party arrived, and she stood backstage, heart racing as the sound of her friends' laughter and chatter seeped in. The energy in the room was palpable, and an invisible thread of connection wound through the audience, binding them in prepared anticipation. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, recalling all the words of encouragement from her grandmother and Jake. "Be authentic," she whispered to herself, the mantra igniting her spirit. With that thought as her compass, she stepped onto the stage, the warm glow of the lights washing over her. As she began to play, her fingers gliding across the strings, the air filled with the raw and honest lyrics she had poured her heart into. Each song was a story, a piece of herself laid bare for all to hear. The audience leaned in, their faces reflecting a tapestry of understanding and shared emotion. The applause that erupted at the end of her set felt like a symphony of validation. Laughter, tears, and joy mingled together in that intimate space. Mia had created a moment where her music and her audience intersected, each sharing in the beauty of vulnerability. Throughout the night, people approached her with smiles, sharing how her music resonated with their own experiences. "Your songs spoke to me," one woman said, her eyes shimmering. "Thank you for your truth." With every connection formed, the initial trepidation that had held Mia captive melted away, replaced by an overwhelming sense of purpose. She realized the impact her voice could have, a beautiful reminder for herself and everyone present that they were not alone, linked in the complex tapestry of life. As the final notes echoed into silence, Mia felt a surge of gratitude. In sharing her journey, she felt liberated, have cut the last invisible ties of doubt that had once weighed her down. Standing in the midst of her friends and community, she understood that this was not just the end of one chapter, but the beginning of a new journey, a chapter filled with possibility, creative flow, and the dreams yet to unfurl. In the days that followed, Mia embraced the artist she was becoming. Collaborations and new musical opportunities began to blossom as she reached out to others. The small release party had ignited a fire within, filling her with a sense of commitment, not just to her music, but to being a voice for connection and shared experiences. Mia Torres had transformed from a woman haunted by her fears to one who shared her heart with courage. She stepped into the new dawn, ready to carve her place in the world, emboldened by the knowledge that authenticity reignited a light, not just for herself, but for all whose lives intersected with her music. Finally, she recognized that every struggle, every moment of doubt had shaped her journey. They had forged a resilience that allowed her to embrace her path fearlessly, weaving melodies that would echo through the hearts of many. She was ready to spread her wings, confident in the knowledge that her voice would indeed guide her onward through this beautiful adventure of life.